Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Floyd, and this is my YouTube channel, AskAVC. I'm a managing director and founder of Storm Ventures, and we're an early stage venture firm that invests in enterprise and B2B SaaS companies. I started the channel because I've spent 20 years working with over hundreds of companies, and I wanted to share some of that advice back to the community, as if I was on your board, or I was an investor, or we were just sitting down having coffee, and the sort of advice that I'd give you. I hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe and share with your friends. So today I'm going to talk about difficult news. How do you deliver difficult news in a company setting? This is a tough thing because you don't really want to be talking to all your employees about all the bad things that are happening, but the reality is bad stuff happens. And that's the nature of a startup. Frankly, it's the nature of any business. And it's your choice as a leader as to how you want to communicate. And it's human nature that if you don't communicate, your employees will amongst one another. So I'm going to walk you through how the advice I'd give you to communicate bad news. Okay, so first of all, it's really hard communicating bad news, but it's okay. You're in good company. Every company has to communicate bad news at some point throughout their life. You may not know about it. You may not hear about it. The media may not have written about it, but trust me, every company, essentially every company, goes through a very difficult time. So you're in very good company. And if you have employees who think there wasn't going to be any bumps in the road and they thought it was all going to be cherries and roses along the way, let them go. Because you need people who see the vision and who are committed to the business like you are. You need people who understand every day is not going to be perfect. That's what a team is all about, is being able to rise to those challenges. And what you'll find, and we'll get into this in a second, is when you communicate effectively, you're going to find your team is going to rise up and they're going to help you through those difficult times. The biggest mistake an entrepreneur can make is basically trying to wall off those issues and not sharing the path forward, because it's likely they're talking about it around the water cooler anyway. So it's really important to communicate and know that it's okay, it's hard, and employees will respond in a positive way. So the next thing I tell you is when you're communicating with either your executive team or maybe it's the all hands meeting, this difficult news, you don't need to bare your soul. These are not your partners, these are not your spouses, it's not your mom, it's not your dad, it's not your best friend, it's not your psychologist. These are your colleagues. Treat them as adults. Treat them with respect, but you do not need to bare your soul and tell them how you've been up at night all night, you can't sleep, you're stressed as you've ever been, because that's really not the message that you're trying to convey. I understand personally it may be very challenging, and I encourage you to talk to your spouse and talk to whoever you need to talk to about that. But as far as communicating with the company, focus. Focus on the issue and the challenge, and talk to the team in a way where you're really sharing it and you're not hiding what the issue is. One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is they don't want to share bad news because they think if they share it, it will become a reality. The fact is, it's already a reality. They're likely already talking about it over lunch at the water cooler at night. So it's your job now to take control of the message and really show them a path forward. So the next thing is when you communicate, focus on the issue, focus on the result, the data, whatever the issue is, but do not focus on blame. Move on, move forward. There will be plenty of time to do analysis and to figure out what happened on the team and what you need to do in terms of maybe personnel changes, if you need to do any. These issues are often pretty complicated in terms of what actually the root cause is. And I think as human beings, we like to be able to simply point to, we missed the quarter in terms of sales. We got to fire the VP of sales. I'll tell you, that's a perfect example. It's usually not just the VP of sales. There's usually a complex set of issues that led you as an organization to miss that quarter. And blaming somebody is just, it's a waste. It's not moving forward. So focus on the issue and focus on moving on and not placing blame. Okay, so now this is the crux in communicating difficult news. You need to not only communicate the bad news, but you have to paint a path forward. No one wants to hear about how bad things are going and then leave it at that, right? No one wants to have a problem without a solution. Think about it in your own life. You don't need a bunch of problems people lay on you without a way to solve them. Your employees don't need that either, right? The team doesn't want that either. Now, I understand it may take the team to help find the path forward in detail, but it's your job as the leader to show up, especially at that all-hands meeting, with a plan to move forward. So the way to deal with that bad news is to couch it right away with, this is what has happened, it's terrible, it's regrettable, and here's what we're going to do now going forward. And you do not need to have this mapped out in excruciating detail, right? Because your team will help you figure that out. But you need to have thought through what that answer is, because you don't want to just drop bad news on people without some idea about how to move forward. You're not trying to have a pity party, right? You're not trying to feel sorry for yourself. You're really trying to move the organization forward. That's your job as a leader. And I'll tell you, your team is going to be sitting there watching and thinking about whether or not this is a leader they want to stay with going forward. So think about that path forward. That's the crux. Okay, so one of the things that often accompanies bad news, or often is the bad news, is layoffs. So I just want to hit this briefly, and if it's something that's of interest to folks, we can talk about it more in the future, because it is an unfortunate reality. Is sometimes you get a little over your skis and you need to make adjustments to the business and pull back. Doing layoffs in a respectful way is critically important to moving forward. When you don't treat people with respect, everyone else that's left in the organization wonders if they're next, because they're watching. Everyone is watching how you behave with those individuals, whether it's in blaming people in a meeting, or whether it's how you treat people with layoffs. The way to really think about layoffs is, number one, make the cuts as deep as you need to make them. I know you don't want to let that person go and they've been great, but you need to go as deep as you need to go, because one thing that you don't want to have to do is go back and do another round of layoffs later. So go as deep as you need to go in that first set, get everybody on board, and then it allows you to move forward and not have to go back and revisit it. The second thing is, once you've done layoffs, you want to help those people out of the organization as quickly as you can. You don't want people that are not part of the go forward team hanging around the office. I know they're your friends, you hang out with them, that's great. You can hang out with them and see them outside of work. But in the office, they don't really want to probably be there either. And if they haven't come to that conclusion, they likely will. And when they do, they're going to be looking for someone to blame. And that's going to be you as the leader, that'll be the company. They're really going to want to try and find ways why it's not their fault. And even if it's not their fault, they're going to make your situation even more complicated internally. So do layoffs with respect, make those cuts as deep as you need to make them, and then exit those folks out of the organization as quickly as possible. So in terms of layoffs, often execs in particular are part of that, and they can be a little bit more tricky in terms of how do you handle that exec moving on. They may have built a large team, they may have a lot of folks inside the company that really look up to them and respect them. It's really important when they're walking out the door, while it may be tempting to put blame on that individual, is to absolutely avoid that. You should genuinely have something great to say about any exec that's exiting the company. It's likely they put in a tremendous amount of effort over the years to making your company successful, right? You hired them. You probably had some responsibility for trying to make them successful. And more importantly, as I mentioned earlier, likely whatever happened, it's likely not the fault of a single person. So find something great to say about that person when they're walking out the door, because again, everyone else is watching. And if you put blame or you say, poor things about someone walking out the door, everyone's going to be thinking that gun's going to get turned on them next. So then finally is now get back to work. So once you've delivered the bad news, you've painted the path forward, get back to work. Don't dwell on the mistake and go over and over and over again. I understand in private, maybe it's hard for you, there's regret, I get it. But organizationally, you need to help everybody move forward. Pull your team up, have them help you on that path forward, and put the issues that happened in the past. That's not to say you ignore them, it's not to say you don't pay attention to them. absolutely, you're going to think about how to do better in the future, but don't dwell. Don't dwell on the past. You're really focused on moving forward. And part of moving forward is celebrating victories. And this is really important because celebrating victories and putting that equity in the bank is going to help you for next time when there is some bad news to deliver, because you will have already spent more time with the team about how great things are going and an individual that had done a great job and built up that equity. So when you do have to deliver bad news the next time, you've got more of a foundation to do it on. So listen, thanks for watching. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Please share it with your friends. Leave me a comment down below. Tag somebody that you know that would be interested in it. And I look forward to putting more together for you. Thanks.